Hey, hello there, RJB from RJB TV. Welcome back to RJB TV, where today we're going to look at Gensay against 458, starting a best of set. This is going to be really good, because these two players are at the prime of their life, at the prime of their gameplay. Overall, this is very good. Very good players. We got Gensay here on the blue Terran, on the top left of the map, and 458 here on the middle top of the map on the yellow Protoss. A little bit of a tough spawn location there for 458 here with this hill in between, right next to the Terran. Usually that means that he's gonna suffer from some hill tank abuse. I can feel it in my bones that it's gonna happen for sure. Hopefully he can find a way to deal with it. I've seen him deal with it against some of the very best players. Like, he's beaten Brain in this situation, which doesn't happen often, but Brain lost against 458 in this exact situation. So Gensay here going for a refinery first build order. That's something that I really have been liking over the past couple of months, really, because this became much more popular in 2021 when Brain, Durom, and Biol started doing this factory build order pretty much every single game. Although, I think people were doing it long ago already. Like in the Western scene, some people were doing a variation of this very early on, like 2006 and 7, and then it disappeared for a very long time, and then it came back for a couple of years. And then it was pretty much only the Koreans doing it. And the Koreans weren't always doing it. They were also doing a barracks build order, like triple barracks or double barracks, for a very long time, because it was easier to defend with the triple or double barracks than with a factory. But people have become so good with their micro and their macro, and they have found so many little details to refine in their build orders and their gameplay, that now they're doing really well with these factory build orders. Really well. So we can see that 458 is trying to build a pylon here, but Gensay put his SCV right there to prevent the construction of a pylon. Very important detail, because otherwise he would not be mining any gas, or he would have to build a second refinery to build that second gas or to mine gas. So very smart detail there from Gensay. Also pulls all but one SCV off the gas, because he's got 100 gas for double machine shop. Very smart detailed play here from Gensay, getting as much money into the bank as he can while building a bunker in his nice little box right behind the double factory. Gonna be very difficult for 458 to actually do some damage. He's trying to get in there, but the Marines, the bunker finishes up just in time. Perfect timing. Very quick look, triple gateway build order there from 458 into double gas. He's going for pretty much an all-in early game build order, trying to go for a very fast cybernetics core to try and beat Gensay before Gensay has tanks operational. Vultures on the way. Got Zealots there waiting in the front. One Vulture is going to spawn very soon. One machine shop there on the way. And he continues with mining gas from his refinery. The Zealots there go in, but they get walled off by a supply depot that's being built on the side. Gets cancelled. Zealot goes down. Other one comes in there from the top. Going to try to snipe some SCVs and do some economic damage to Gensay. And he kills no SCVs right there. They all stay alive. Got a cannon coming up there in the back for 458 to protect his probes against the Vulture that's now scooting across the map, whereas Zealots are walking around the Vulture to go for another backstep attack, but Gensay there saw the cannon warping in, who turns around and he finds the Zealots and is going to micro those Zealots to death. They're going to die a painful death at the hands of this Vulture micro. This is why Vultures are so strong. Zealots are terrible against the Vultures, but we have Dragoons and Dragoon range all the way there from 458, which are really good against Vultures. Vultures do not do much damage against Dragoons, and the Dragoons are going to spawn right about now. As the Vultures come in from the top there to kill some probes, they arrive a little bit faster than the Dragoons can protect the probes, but most of the probes will survive, kills 2 of them. Vultures have to run away and place some mines in this pathway, because Dragoons are not going to get slowed down unless there are mines. Tank there might get caught, might get killed. No, the mines come out and the mines explode on one Dragoon. Really good play, kills the other mines just in time, but there's more mines in the middle and he's forced to retreat back to his base. Very close opening, very action-packed opening where even just the slightest mistake from either of the two could have cost them the game. Gensay losing his first tank or losing the vultures would mean that the 4 of 8 can push across the map quite easily. Now 4 of 8 is getting a robotics facility, either for Shuttle Reaver or for Observer. I think it's going to be Observer because he's getting a total of 6 gateways, so he's adding on 2 more gateways, which probably means he's going to go all in on Gateway Army to deal with this very aggressive playstyle from Gensay. Gensay is playing this very, very aggressively, going pretty much all in on triple factory. Commands are coming up in the back and getting engineering bay as well. Engineering bay are coming in for maybe the Observer, maybe for Shuttle, and drops, maybe for a Dark Templar. Bottom line, he needs an engineering bay. So Armory coming up there for upgrades and Goliaths. More vultures coming across the map. He's building bunkers in the middle. So now that we have a small little bit of time to breathe, I'm going to talk about Gensay, who has been playing with a professional team owned by the former professional C, where he is a trainee to become, hopefully, a player capable of playing the normal maps at a professional level. And he's been improving really quick. He's been improving really, really quick. He's almost there at the professional level. Under the guidance of players like Mong, C, and Terror, and I think under Brain as well, he's been improving really quick. Really, really quick, and it's highly impressive. Scan actually joined the same team as a coach. So now the fighting is back. We have tanks retreating back home because he doesn't have siege mode yet, and 4 of 8 has an army that is pushing through that middle. The Observer, he went in right before the turret finished up, so the Observer is there providing vision to kill mines, which is pretty big. The Shuttle is there to drop Zealots on top of tanks in the case tanks had siege mode, but there's no siege mode there yet. So now we have a little bit of a swing back in favor of 4 of 8 as he pushes across the middle into this base, but siege mode is seconds. Siege mode is finished up. Siege mode is finished up. Will he be able to defend himself against this army? Got Marines, got tanks, got vultures as well. And yes, Gensay with perfect timing fends off that push from 458. Which now means we're going to get a wall, we're going to get turrets, we're going to get defensive gameplay from Gensay. The offensive gameplay did not work, but he managed to force 458 into delaying his advanced technology while also being stuck on a single nexus, so he has a small economy as well. He's getting a second nexus there, but it's going to take a little while before he is fully operational with that second nexus, so very strong playstyle from Gensay that 458 knew was going to happen, but couldn't properly counter it. He couldn't properly counter it. His plan was to go for a counter push and win the game. Oh wait, drop comes in, is the Reaver inside? This might be pretty bad there for Gensay, as if he's running the safety, but kind of getting stuck between the bunker, the barrack, and the factory, but none of the SCVs die. Reaver goes into the backside there, Shuttle gets taken down by a turret, and some SCVs do go down, but the amount of SCVs that does go down is pretty much not very painful or damaging. It's pretty much non-significant. It was an amount of SCVs Gensay was willing to lose. So the goon there on the side gonna make sure no structures are floating beyond that hill. There's a small little part of a wall that isn't actually sealed off. Right there, you could build a supply depot right here and seal off most of the wall, but this is still wide open. A lot of drop there being picked up, looking for a hole in the turret line of defense. Flies around, can't quite find one. I mean, there's some holes right here and there, but we got Goliaths behind that wall, running back and forth to snipe the Shuttle out of the air. Level 1 attack there on the way for Gensay, almost finished up. Storm on the way there for 458. Actually, he's just waiting for Storm to finish. Because Reaver, Templar, Zealot, he needs Storm before he can go in. Goons in the front, double tank behind the wall. Most of the units are in the back. Triple tank, about 12 Goliaths. He's on 5 factory. The factories grow really slowly on this build order from Gensay. But he doesn't actually need any factories as long as he manages to keep his units alive. He doesn't need that many factories. Just 5 is all he needs. It's just perfectly fine. So 458 here is not going for fast carriers. He's going for drops on triple robotics into a lot more gateways. And we aren't seeing Gensay going for the hill play yet. Drop comes in, gets shot out of the air, Reaver on the low ground, gonna try to kill some Goliaths, gets 1-2 shots off, but the shots don't really connect as you would want to, and takes pretty much no damage at all on those Goliaths, and Gensay is even repairing those same Goliaths. Like, none of them went down, they're all still alive. Minimal damage taken. 458 is in a difficult position now because he's behind on probes. He's an even supply, but he's got a little bit more production power than Gensay, but he has to start making some of these drops hit really hard and slow Gensay down, kill some SCVs, kill the economy in order to get a lead over Gensay, because Gensay right now is looking strong, really, really strong. Drop comes in, Goliath's in between, Goliath's firing on the shuttle, shuttle's unloading all over the place, Templar right there, Templar right here, double Templar, triple 4 Templars, ready to storm whatever they can, kills not that many SCVs. He had about 60 of them, now down to 46, so he killed 14. It's something, it's not much, but it's something. He would have liked to have killed more, but couldn't quite connect his storms on the SCVs running in all kinds of different directions. And he goes for a smaller counterattack, kills 2 or 3 High Templars with the Vultures. Pretty good moves here from Gensay. Pretty good moves. And now he's got a full-on wall there in the front. And I do think he's going to put tanks on the high ground. Actually, defensive tanks, not offensive tanks. He's going to defend with those tanks. Mine is going to explode any time. Now takes out 1 Dragoon. Tanks at the high ground, they're defending properly. He's going to go for another one right here. He's gonna go for a tank drop. There's a spot right here. It's only 2 cannons. Unloads on the scene. Probes running to safety. Is he gonna hit anything? Oh, 22 probe kills. Yeah, that is something. 458 did not have proper probe protection. He's cannons right here. Very good. Cannons on the other side. Very good. But only 2 cannons on the bottom side and only 1 cannon protecting this section. That was sloppy play from 458. He should have had proper protection for those probes long ago. And Gensay scanned it, saw it, and was like, hey, easy spot to drop, let's just go for it, let's just kill some probes. Which now means that 458 isn't a bad spot. He did kill some SCVs from Gensay, but Gensay is now on an 18 worker lead. Triple command center finished up. Drop on the bottom side, trying to put a stop to the economy that's been plaguing 458. He's gonna try, but we've got turrets right here, about 7 of them, ready to shoot on the shuttle coming in. Corsair goes down, one more shuttle in between, starts unloading on the scene, Reaver unloads, 2 Reavers, but there's SCVs running the other direction, kills, I'd say 6 or so SCVs, so it's something that he killed, but once again, it's not significant. Gensay does not mind too much about losing a couple of SCVs like that, as long as he stays ahead of 458 in economy. That's what matters the most. He's got a huge army supply, 150 supply in total, 63 SCVs, 48 probes. 48 probes really is not that great. It really is not that great. Loading up another drop. He's ready to go. He's got about 20 Templars sitting here in the front. He's going to have to build at least another 20 probes to catch up and start rolling his economy into the comfort zone, because right now he's definitely not in the comfort zone, and he's facing tanks on the high ground, which are pretty much only countered by carriers or just really effective shuttle drops that end the game quickly. But right now things are not looking good. Gensay has gone into full-on hill tank abuse mode to try and push onto the probes from the left. There's actually no defense in the front, like nothing at all. Like the Zealot is hitting the front, there's nothing here to protect. Okay, now there's a tank on the high ground, so it's something, it's not much, but it's something. 458 is building a really big shuttle drop. He's morphing Archons as well. He wants to end this command center really quick, as soon as he can, with a very big mass attack drop. But But first, let's clean out that hillside and kill the tank. It's picked up really quickly there, though. Gensay is on point. He's now finally building more factories. He got slowed down a bit here and there. Was really focusing on building turrets on the sides. Was really focused on returning damage to 458, but 458 there, big drop stacked up over the top side, goes in for the drop. Goliaths are trying to kill some of them. Shuttles kills one of them, but the others all do arrive on the scene. There's Archons in between and a couple of Zealots. Not a lot of units, but it might be enough to kill the command center. It might be enough. Repair coming in there. Repair coming in. He is not gonna get it. He is gonna not. No, nope, he doesn't get it. Unloading his own tanks to save the day and deal some damage on those Archons. Save the command center. It was down to 40 HP. So that's 2 more hits from an Archon and it would have died right there and then. And that would have been troublesome for Gensay, who's now on 0 minerals. But 65 SCVs. He's comfortable, he's fine, he's strong, he's got a healthy economy that will recover as all the SCVs go back to work. Now he's going for a frontal attack. 458 is in some trouble. His base is still small. He didn't properly rebuild his probe count. Now tanks are reloading on the left, and tanks are attacking on the middle. He's in trouble. He's pushing towards those probes. 458 though is going to try to go for a full-on frontal attack to try and kill Gensay before Gensay can kill him. Dropping his own units here right next to his command center's nexuses, next to his nexuses, and kills the tanks on the low ground, while here in the front his army is pushing into the choke and clearing out the choke. With more dropships coming across onto the high ground to secure the side from the hill. So now the choke is somewhat secured by the Goliaths and the tanks there. Storming on the tanks though. Double storm will kill the tanks. Goliaths are stuck up on the high ground. He's gonna put a whole lot more tanks on there. His economy hasn't yet quite recovered, still low on the income. All the workers have returned to work mining minerals, but income is still dragging and lagging behind. Really good storms here from 458, but all the storms being used for the high ground mean that he doesn't have storms to be used on the minerals, which he really has to do. And surprise, Gensay has been losing a lot of units. Gensay has not finished his base. Like, there's not a whole lot of factories producing. He's got 12 factories? 11 factories. Correction, 11 factories, 2 starports. He's just really focusing on going for the abuse and hoping that 458 is not gonna outproduce him, which might just happen. Storms again on the side. There's a path right towards those probes right about now. But the attack happening in the front. We got vultures spawning, gonna place some mines. There's no observer on the scene. Tanks behind them, sieging up, ready to protect. This is a difficult game. There's 2 fights happening here in the choke, here on the left side of 458's base. Both players, their economies are kind of just dragging by. They're just producing non-stop, all the time, as hard as they can, sending units into the battle as they spawn, as quick as they can. Like, it's very impressive gameplay. Very impressive gameplay from both of these masters. Big drop comes in, but SCVs do run away. He's going to try to unload on top of the SCVs, but can't quite chase them down. So the drop finds somewhat of a safe place to hang in the air and hope that the SCVs do not return back to work. And they aren't. They're waiting for the shuttles to get killed as they hang there on the top. He's waiting for his time to strike. When those SCVs return to work, that is when he's going to try. He's going to ignore them. He's actually going to just ignore those shuttles. So Gensay's playing speed is making 458 sweat. It's making him sweat a whole lot. He's drenched in sweat, nerves shaking his body in anticipation of the eventual kill that is lying on the horizon. We have some attacks here in the front. All the units being located here on the top left of 458's base. He really wants to kill those probes, and 458 just keeps on sending in shuttle drops. Shuttles getting targeted, shuttles unloading, Templars on the scene. Templars can't. Oh, he gets a good storm off. Gets a very good storm off. Killed 17 SCV, so that's something. That's something. That's a start. That is a start. He's managing to damage the economy of Gensay while keeping him away from killing his probes. His probes are miraculously still alive, and Gensay is struggling to get by. The economy is in a bad place. I mean, 53 SCVs, it's not bad. It's not great either. It's right in between good and bad. But the fact... Oh, probes died. A whole lot of them died. 37 of them died. That might just be the nail in the coffin. 37 SCVs, 37 probes dead and gone. Upgrades for 458 are currently on 001. He's not really been able to spend money on upgrades. It's just really not been a pretty game for 458. It's just so difficult as a Protoss to keep up with a Terran like this. A Terran that is not bothering with building more factories, but just using every single little bit of his production to build more units and sending them into attack immediately, while also controlling those units like an expert. Like an absolute expert. Supply counts are... There's a huge difference in supply counts. Heavily in favor of Gensay, who is now just gonna pick up more units and unload them here on the side and hopefully end the game with this next mass drop of tanks, vultures, and Goliaths right here on the side, and hopefully kill a couple more of those probes. He's getting really, really close. There's a lot of Goliaths, a lot of tanks. Kills the shuttle, kills the Reaver. Reaver gets a shot off on the defensive matrixed tank, which has 2-3 upgrades. The upgrade difference is also huge. It's so massively in favor of Gensay that Gensay absolutely dominated, in my opinion. 458 tried a lot of different things, but I'm sure he felt like he was locked into just doing the same thing. He could not do anything else. He didn't have time to go carriers, didn't have the money to go carriers, losing his probes, like he lost 22 earlier into the game. I think that really did a dirty number on him. He just had no way of recovering from that, because he had to do some real big damage to Gensay's economy, but all the damage he did do was small. It does hurt, but all of it was just too small to really slow Gensay down, to allow 458 to recover his economy, his production, his technology, and get proper upgrades. Everything was just going against him. So that's it for game number 1. I'm going to do, hopefully, game number the rest of this set in the remainder of this week. I'm going to be moving to my new apartment on this Saturday, July 1st. I'm going to get the keys to my apartment on the 28th of June. So that's in 1 day for me. It's already 27 here, so in 1 day I'm going to get the keys, and then I'm going to start working on my apartment, like painting the walls, doing the floor, moving stuff in, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to be busy for the next week, maybe 2 weeks, with getting my apartment in order, looking nice, clean, tight, and modern. Basically just all the interior design things that I'm going to be doing. So don't expect a lot of videos over the next week, maybe 2 weeks, and after that I'm going to be picking up steam again and produce a whole lot more videos as often as I can, because I'll be having a lot of free time after that. Anyway, that's it for today. It was RGB for RGB, and please do return for the next game in this best of set. Gensay is leading 1-0.